today I'm going to show you how I made the Sakura cheesecake from Hello Kitty Island Adventure in real life. Let's go! I really was not sure that I could even do the cheesecake until I found those tiny molds, and so I thought that would be perfect to do the tiny cheesecakes in the game. And I found some Sakura flowers that are pickled and salty, but that you can use for pastry if you actually wash them. So we will be using that and all these to make the cheesecake. The thing is, as you can see, there are several layers, and this is a bit tricky because usually I only do 2 different layers. So this one I need to cook several times, and I'm not sure about that, but we'll manage. Let's go. To be sure it won't attach to the bottom, I will put some paper inside of it. So first I reduced the cookie into a powder, and I melted the butter, and we are going to mix it all. The texture is perfect. So now we need to fill the bottom. Usually I go on the side of the mold, but really not this time, it's just a thin layer. Before I do that, I will butter the mold with the paper of the butter. I'm not sure yet exactly how much I need, so I will try with that already. Since we have 4 more layers to go, I think that's it, and I will keep this one for maybe doing a second one or something. We'll see, but I think that's enough. Now let's start with the first layer, and we start by adding the cream cheese and sugar and lemon, some vanilla extract, tiny bit of salt. And the normal recipe will go for 1 egg, but this is too much for this tiny thing. I'll take only half of it. Now let's mix it all. So now for the tricky part, we need to split this part in 2, and this is where I'm not sure how am I going to add this thinner layer of pink here. Technically, I'll do this first and cook and keep half of it, and then make this one, and then do a tiny layer and just cook it again and put it this one. So let's split that in 2 now and cook it. I did 5 minutes just to be sure it's dry, but it's actually not, so let's do more. This time I think it's definitely okay. I don't want to cook it more before putting the other layers because it will still need a lot of more cooking. In the meantime, let's start the second layer. So we'll need some cream, a little bit of vanilla, and a little bit of sugar. And I'll start mixing it. The whole thing now is this layer needs to be pink. So I'm using a little bit of food dye. It does look dark, but with just a little bit of water, it will be hot pink. Okay, I think this one is kind of good. Okay, now we need the thinnest layers of pink, and then I'll add the other part of this yellowish one, and then we'll do all the rest of the pink. And I hope to be able to cook it in between each time and it will work and not overcook. I'm not sure how much I should add actually. I don't know if you can see, but there's kind of a hole in between now because it kind of retracted. So I'm afraid if I put too much it will fall into that hole and will be ugly, but also I'm afraid that if I don't put too much it will not be visible on the final cake. Okay, so let's try to heat that, I don't know, 5 minutes, we'll see. Okay, after only a few minutes, it's really hard already. We can do the second layer. Okay, there'll just be enough space for the top layer, that's perfect. So back to the oven. So it looks good, but I have no idea if everything under is actually too cooked or not. So I'll let it dry a little bit and then we'll put the new layer on. This time it doesn't seem dry enough, but I'm reluctant to actually cook it more because I don't want it to be too cooked. So let's see if I put the layer on top of it, will I break or not. I probably won't have the good ratio, but this is the best I could do. So let's go back final time to the oven. While it cooks, let's look at the top. So there are the Sakura flowers that I have here, but I need to try and make them flat and also remove the salt and everything. So we'll see how to do that. Then I will try to do a heart with marzipan, but I could not find a pink one, so we'll try to also use the food dye. And for the middle, I use some jelly from my neighbor, and I mixed it with water to make it super light. So this is what we'll try to do. So it's coming from the oven, very cool, super nice, I'm so happy. And now I'll let it air dry and then put it in the fridge for several hours while we prepare the design. Probably I'll leave it in the fridge with the mold and then I'll mold it and later I'll decorate it. I'm not sure yet, we'll figure it out. So I'm not sure how many I need. I think I'll take a good amount just to be sure I have enough. But also I leave some just in case I break some. I mean, there are more Sakura recipes, so I could keep that, but they don't look as beautiful as on the picture of the game, obviously. But yeah, I'll need to do it 3 more times like that to remove all the salt. In the meantime, let's try to do a heart with this. I could have used pink fondant, but I was too lazy to go to a special shop to buy it. First of all, let's see if I can dye the mass. I'm happy. Now I have 2 options. Either I make some kind of thing like that and I form it into a heart, or I use some cookie cutters because I found some. I could actually use this cookie cutter to make the shape, and I think it's actually a good ratio. So I could try that. Yeah, let's try that first. Okay, this is not bad at all. So maybe this I can already put on top of that, but maybe I will not put the jelly and the flowers until I actually unmold it. And maybe because I'll have to cut around or something. I will keep it and not eat this yet, just in case I need to redo another one because this one breaks or something, so I'll keep that aside. Okay, so by then, after like I think 3 hours, I think the flowers are not salty anymore, so let's dry them. So let's say that we are good with this. This one, I left it outside of the fridge, so it's not too hard. So now let's unmold. Okay, I was afraid that being together in the fridge might make it a problem, but I don't think that it will. That was a problem though. I didn't think this could happen. Okay, at some places you can see the pink, but not most places, and it's not like it's terribly bad on the sides. Maybe this is the time to try to remove it from this and put it on a plate. So that is done. So now let's try to decorate it. Maybe I'll do this first. Let's use my Hello Kitty spoon. Okay, I'll hide that with some flowers. But now I have another issue, is that actually this is way too dark. So let's see if I can add some water. This is not looking good. We'll say that it works like that. Let's see what we can do with the flowers. So I have some here. It's not very pretty. So now what do we do with this? So this is the... My God. This is the final result. It's obviously not perfect. I think this is the best I could do. Also, I'm so shocked that I was able to find exactly this, because if it usually I do it in a big mold like that, molder. So in the end, I'm kind of happy. Obviously, like the other ones, is not as tall, but that's the best I could do with my mold, I guess. Now let's see if it's as delicious as it looks, because I'm really looking forward to taste it. It is good. Okay, let's try the Sakura. Doesn't have much taste. A little bit salty still. But if you want to see the other recipes that I have done, click over there.